All right. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining in. And we'll begin the practice lying down on our back, getting into a position that offers you a sense of grounding, relaxation, and feel free to keep your knees bent if that feels better on the lower back. Or grab a cushion underneath the legs, modifying as you need to. Once you get any shuffling, any movement out of the way and settle into stillness, closing the eyes when you feel ready. Let's bring awareness to our body and the mat underneath us. And see if you can pay attention to all the different parts of your body that are in contact with the mat. The back of your head, the shoulders, the arms, your upper back, the back of the rib cage, down into your lower back and the glutes, through the backside of your legs, into the calf muscles, down to the ankles, and into the hands if they're on the mat. And see if you can allow your weight to melt down into the mat. Just allow your body to rest. Allowing yourself to feel supported by the ground underneath you. And observing the rise and fall of your chest and belly as you breathe in and out. Feeling the space inside you expand as you breathe in. And relax as you breathe out. Noticing how it feels to be inside your body in this moment. Noticing any feedback that your body might be offering you. Noticing your energy level. Just getting a sense of how it feels to be inside your body this morning. And as we move through the practice and beyond, I invite you to stay connected with this inner experience of your own being. Staying connected with your breath, your body, and your mind. Let's wiggle the toes, wiggle fingers. We're going to slide the feet together, pointing your toes, reach the arms overhead. Stretch as you breathe in and relax as you breathe out. From here, we're going to lift the right leg. As you inhale, bend the knee. Bring the fingers together around the shin. Flexing both ankle and toes, begin to pull your knee in towards your chest. Staying grounded through the back of the head and shoulders. Breathing into the hip flexors. Wherever you might be feeling the stretch. Try and pull the thigh a little closer with every exhale. I'm going to take the knee into the left hand from here. On the next exhale, pull the knee across your body, over to the left side, stretching your right arm beside you. As you feel the right sit bones lifting, stacking over the left, keep the shoulders on the mat, and using that left hand to pull the knee closer to the ground beside you, stretching into your obliques, into the outer thigh muscles on the right side, getting into the glutes. Finding your focus. You're always welcome to keep the eyes closed. On the next breath in, pulling your knee back to center. We're going to take the knee into the right hand, placing your left hand on top of the left hip, applying a bit of gentle pressure down there to keep your sit bones on the mat and allowing your right hip to open out to the side. You can bring your right hand underneath to offer a little bit of support, or you can place that hand on top of the thigh to add a little bit of downward pressure to deepen the stretch, whichever feels better for you. Just make sure your sit bones stay grounded throughout. I'm breathing here. You can also try pulling the knee a little closer or further away from your torso, noticing how the change in angle can change the stretch. Nice and easy with the breath, keeping that left leg grounded. On the inhale, pulling your knee back to center. Let's bring the fingers around the back of your thigh as you extend the right heel up towards the ceiling, stretching into the back of the right leg. With your hands, you're going to pull that thigh in towards your chest, and with your right heel, you're going to try and push away towards the ceiling. So bringing that stretch a little deeper into the calf and hamstring muscles. Again, keeping that left leg grounded, keeping your lower back and head on the mat. Let's draw circles on the ceiling with your right big toe. Circling in both directions. And relaxing the ankle. Bending your knee, bring the fingers together around the shin once again. Pull the knee closer towards your right armpit, getting that hip to open. Bring that knee back to center, releasing it onto the ground as you exhale. And then inhale, lifting your left leg, bend the knee, fingers coming together around the shin, flexing both ankle and toes, activating through the right leg as you pull the left knee into your body. Nice and easy with your breath. Let's take the knee into the right hand, pull it across over to the right side, stretching your left arm beside you, shifting your gaze as needed. Feel that left sit bone come to stack over the right. Staying with an even breath, steady gaze. Breathing into the stretch. Inhale to lift the knee back to center. Take the knee into the left hand, right hand placed on top of the right hip, and then let that hip open out to the side. Inhale to pull your knee back to center. Bring the fingers together around the back of the thigh. Straightening the leg towards the ceiling while pulling the leg towards your chest with both hands. And really try to actively flex the ankle and the toes back down towards the knee, so you can get the stretch to move into the calf muscle as well as the hamstrings. Just breathe into that stretch. And then we start to rotate the ankle. And as you rotate the ankle, try to keep the circles nice and slow, keep them smooth, keeping your jaw relaxed. Changing the direction of the circles. And bring the ankle back to neutral. I'm going to bend the knee once again, bring the fingers together around the shin and pull the knee in towards your left armpit. And with the next exhale, go ahead and release your left thigh down onto the leg. Down onto the mat, reaching the arms up, slide the feet together, stretch as you breathe in, and relax as you breathe out. From here, we're going to lift the arms, come to let them land beside the body, one at a time, lifting your legs, bending the knees, and planting the feet on the mat. As you walk your feet closer, touch the heels with your fingertips, setting up into bridge, pushing down through your hands and feet, lifting your seat off the mat, extending through your tailbone up towards the sky. And we're trying to push down through the feet here evenly, activating into the glutes and hamstrings. Rolling your shoulders underneath to lift the chest a little higher. From here on the next breath in, we're going to lift that right leg up, pointing the toes, reaching the toes as high as you can. And then bending your knee, bringing the foot back down. And then we pick up the left foot, pointing your toes up. Let's do that a couple of more times on each side. Try to keep your pelvis as level as you can as you do so. Picking up the right leg, pointing your toes up. Replacing it back down slowly with control. And then the other side lifts. Core stays active all the way through. Try not to have too much rocking happening side to side, maintaining stillness, maintaining control all the way down. We started with the right. Next time you finish off with the left, we'll pause, back into bridge. And then releasing your spine, your seat down onto the mat. From here, we're going to lift the legs up towards the ceiling, bringing the hands to the backs of your thighs. As you flex the ankle and toes down, keeping the lower back in contact with the mat. Heels pushing up to the sky and using the hands to pull your thighs closer towards your body. And as you pull, try to actively still roll your tailbone down to keep it in contact with the mat. So there's a little bit of counter resistance happening here, helping to deepen that stretch, especially where the hamstrings attach at the top, right into the back of the pelvis. As you roll your tailbone down and pull with the hands, you feel that stretch. Flexing the ankle and toes down to get into the calf muscles as well. Breathing here, 3, 2, and 1. Easing your way out of that stretch, bringing the knees into your chest. Let's wrap the arms around the shins, tuck into a tight ball, hugging your arms around the knees. And from here, we're going to cross one ankle over the other, rising up and transitioning into tabletop. Spreading your fingers, palms are flat. Bringing the shoulders over the wrists. Rocking back and forth a couple of times, just warming up the forearms. Feeling the weight shifting into different parts of the hand. And let's come back to center, moving from side to side. And coming back to center, releasing all the air from the body. And on the next breath in, begin to arch the low back, draw the belly down, pull the shoulders away from the ears, looking forward or up. And then as you exhale, tucking the tailbone down towards the knees, round through your spine, push through the hands, chin to chest. At your own pace, moving into your back bend with the inhale. Lifting the chest, shifting your gaze, and then exhale into a rounded back. And look to articulate the movement through each part of your spine, starting from the tailbone and letting that wave of movement travel through the spine. A couple more times. And we'll find our way into a neutral spine. From here, let's step the right foot forward. Let's take the foot all the way to the front of your mat, bringing the fingers together on the right thigh, sinking low into your lunge here. Allow the pelvis to drop below the front knee, taking up some more space if you need to, taking that back knee away from the front foot, relaxing into the shoulders, stretching into the left hip flexors here. We're going to bring both hands down on the inside of your right foot. As you bring your hands down, look to actively drive the pelvis closer towards the hands. And from here, we're going to send the seat back. As you do that, we're going to pick up the back foot, pivoting on the knee and placing the foot behind the leg. And then rising up from here, we're going to place our right forearm on the right thigh. And then as you lunge forward into that right leg, you're going to feel that stretch through the inner thigh on the left side, maybe even the inner thigh on the right side, the adductor muscles. But try to lunge forward and have your pelvis shift towards the front of your mat. And then we're going to press into that front foot coming back. As you come back, we're going to change the angle of that front leg. So your right toes are now going to point either forward or out to the side. It doesn't matter. Just make sure the bottom of that foot is on the mat and the toes are in line with your knee. Inhale to reach the left arm up to the sky. Draw the shoulders down the back. Left hand can slide down the leg or come around the back into a half bind. Take an inhale, look up, and exhale to fold towards your straight leg. Breathing into your side body here. Keeping the toes tucked under behind you for some extra balance. And as you inhale from here, coming back and keep that space in the side of your torso. On the exhale, reaching that hand to the other side of the mat. You can plant that hand down for support and then shifting weight onto your left side, right leg lifts, reaching up to that right arm, flexing your ankle and toes. Welcome to hang out here. If you want to go a little bit further, bend into that right knee, reach back through your right hand and grabbing the inner edge of the foot, begin to kick that foot away from your body, opening into the hip flexors on the right side, opening across your chest and breathing here. And from here, we release and switching sides, coming into a tabletop, facing the other way. From here, we step the right foot forward in between the hands, fingers come together. Pardon me, we step the left foot forward this time. Fingers coming together on the thigh, relaxing through your shoulders and sinking low into your lunge. And take that space as needed so your knee can move a little further back. You want to keep that front knee tracking right on top of the ankle. From here, we're going to bring both hands down on the inside of your left foot, pressing your pelvis closer towards the hands, keeping that spine nice and long. Leading with your chest forward, draw the shoulders down the back. Whenever possible, look for length in your spine, especially in your lower back. This part of the spine tends to keep a little bit rounded. You want to try to extend and lengthen as much as you can. That length can also come from the front, where you keep that low belly slightly pulled in and extend up in the space between the belly and the ribs. And from here, easing your way out, we're going to send the seat back, picking up that back foot, pivoting on the knee. And as you place that foot behind the knee, placing your left forearm on the left thigh, and then lunging forward into that leg one more time, getting into the inner right hip. Again, how deep you go into this depends on how tight you feel, where you feel the stretch. Just breathe. You don't have to push yourself into a position that feels painful. You want to feel that stretch, maybe a slight bit of discomfort, but never pain, especially around the joint. So if you're feeling pain in the elbow, shoulder, knee, that's something to watch for and pull back from. But if there's discomfort, maybe that stretches in the middle of your muscle, you're feeling slightly uncomfortable, try to just breathe, and you'll find that you might be able to relax, go deeper into that stretch. From here, we're going to push into that front foot as you ease your way out of the stretch, straightening the left leg and then placing the bottom of the foot on the mat. Might need to adjust your positioning on the mat a little bit. Just make sure your toes are in line with that knee. This leg is strong and grounded, choosing the option for that left arm that works for you, right arm reaching up to the sky. Draw the shoulders down the back, and then as you exhale, folding over towards the straight leg. Inhale, lifting your way out of the pose, and then exhale to plant that hand down on the mat and to the other side, shifting weight to your right hand, right leg, bending your knee if you want to, or just reaching that arm up. If you want to go for the foot grab position, try to kick the foot away from your body. You're pulling with the hand to use that bit of counter resistance to open up into the hip flexors and into your chest as well on the left side. Maybe even the bicep if you're feeling a little bit of tightness there. And nice and easy, we release and then come onto the mat, back into tabletop. From your tabletop, tucking your toes under, we're gonna lift the knees, lift the seat. This might be a slightly shorter than usual downward dog. And I want you to be able to plant your feet down completely. So if you need to shorten your downward dog even more, that's perfectly fine. You wanna be able to have your heels completely grounded with your hands on the mat as well. So it might look more like a forward bend, and that's totally cool. Just make sure you're feeling strong, stable. And once you have your position, look through your thighs and lift the seat up as high as you can. Once your seat is lifted, you're feeling stable, we're gonna take that right hand, reach it across to your left ankle. And if you're looking from underneath your left armpit, try to continue lifting your seat up. It's almost like you're pulling your sit bones away from the heels. And the reason you want to have your feet grounded for this is you bring that right hand back and then reach the left hand across. The reason you want to have your heels grounded for this is because we're adding a twist. You always want to make sure that one part of the body stays stable and the twist happens where you want it to happen. So here the twist is happening for the torso, but we want the pelvis and the lower part of the body to stay stable and level. So we're trying to twist into the upper part of the spine as you look from underneath the armpit towards the ceiling. Use that left hand, right leg connection to go deeper into the twist, breathing here. And then inhale, bring that left hand back. And exhale to lower down into your knees. From here, we bring on our forearms down onto the mat. And one more time with your toes tucked under, lift the seat, lift the knees, and you can take a slightly deeper, bigger stance this time. As you lift the seat up, looking through your thighs, pushing down through the heels, stretching into the backs of your legs. And exhale to lower your knees onto the mat. Walk the hands closer to the body as you lift off the forearms and come into a kneeling position with your shoulders, hips and knees stacked in a straight line. Hands come onto the lower back here. Thumbs and fingers zip down, pointing to the ground. As you push the pelvis forward, lift into the chest. Looking up to the sky, maybe your head drops back in your half camel. And then start to lift your head up, straightening up into the spine. Hands are on your hips. From here, we lunge into that front foot and sink low into the pelvis once again. Once you're in your lunge, adjust as needed if you want to take that back knee a little further back. And then reach the arms up by the ears, draw the shoulders down the back, look up to the sky, lifting into the chest, and try to reach your thumbs and fingers back. As your thumbs and fingers reach back, drive your pelvis forward. From here, we're going to press into that front foot as you inhale, send the seat back, open the arms up beside you, and then exhale to bring the fingertips onto the mat beside you, offering you support, flexing into your right ankle and toes, extending through your spine, through the chest and chin forward, and scissoring into the hips here. So as you pull your right hip back, the left hip pushes forward. And then as you exhale, walk the hands forward. From here, we bring the right hand on the inside of your foot, tucking the back toes under, that knee lifts off the mat. We ground the heel, turning your toes out to the side. We're gonna open up the chest, reach up through your left hand. If you wanna puff up onto your fingertips, you can. Coming into your side angle pose, Parshvakonasana, deepening the stance as needed. Back foot is solid and flat on the mat. Front knee tracking into the ankle, right arm, right leg pressing into each other. From here, we're gonna stretch that left side a little bit more by reaching the arm up and over towards the front. And then bringing the hand back onto the mat. We pick up the back heel. From here, we're gonna switch to the other side. So I want you to bring your left hand now on the inside of your foot. As you twist the torso, scissor into the hips, and reach up through the right hand. Pulling that knee in towards the center line of your mat as you use the bottom hand to help you twist. And inhale to come out, placing both hands on the mat, framing your foot. From here, we step that right foot back. We're gonna move through a transition to downward dog. Feel free to choose that transition however you want. So you can go into chaturanga, you can go into your back bend directly, lower the knees, open the chest, lifting your seat, and into downward dog. And as you come into your downward dog, feel free to pedal out the feet here, reaching your heels down one at a time. And you can hang out in the stretch wherever you feel like your stretch feels like it's what your body needs. Just hang out a little while longer if you like. No rush. Let's bring stillness into our downward dog and exhale to lower the knees onto the mat. Toes are tucked under, walk the hands back as you rise up. Shoulders, hips, and knees on a straight line, hands on the low back. Similar sequences before. We're gonna push the pelvis forward, lift the chest, coming into your half camel, maybe transitioning into your full camel from here. If you wanna lower your hands down to the ankles, the back of your shins. Just make sure as you make that transition, you're opening your shoulders externally. The hips stay stacked over the knees. And the chest is still lifting up to the sky. From here, we bring the left hand up into the ear. Inhale to climb your way out of the pose. Exhale to bring your hands onto the mat. From here, we take that left foot, lunge it forward, sinking into the lunge, fingers together around the right thigh, relaxing into the shoulders. Once you find your alignment here, you find your balance. We reach the arms up beside the body, draw the shoulders down the back, lift the chest, look up to the sky. And then begin to send your thumbs and fingers back, further opening into the chest and the front body. Remember, press into that front foot as you breathe in, send the seat back, Sweep the arms out beside you, letting them land on the mat. Flex into your ankle and toes. Lengthen through your spine. Breathe into the stretch. From here, we walk the hands forward. Bringing the left hand on the inside of your foot, tucking the back toes under, that knee lifts. We ground the heel, turning the toes onto the side, choosing the option for the bottom hand that works for you as you open the chest and lift the right hand up to the sky. You want to have the front leg bent close to 90 degrees with enough space to keep that knee tracking over the ankle. And that back leg nice and strong, pushing in through the outer edge of that foot, and then reaching the right hand towards the front of your mat. And rotating that arm bone so your pinky is facing down, draw the shoulders down the back. Feel that length, that space in the sides of your torso. Breathe into the stretch. And then releasing that right hand onto the mat, picking up the back heel. Then from here, we bring the right hand on the inside of your foot, twisting into the torso, and reach up through the left hand. And again, as your chest is rotating out to the side, you're trying to rotate that left hip in the opposite direction. So the left hip is turning in while the chest is opening out. And that's how you keep the right arm, left knee really close to each other. Breathing 3, 2, and 1. Inhale. Bring that left hand back down, and we step back into plank. You want to have one breath, one movement. If you're going into chaturanga, exhale on the way down. Inhale up into your back bend, and then exhale, coming into downward facing dog. And you're welcome to find stillness or movement in your down dog, whichever feels best. Take the shoulders up and away from the ears, roll the armpits in to face each other. Let your chest move towards the back of your mat as you lift the seat higher, pull that low belly in, stretching the whole back body from your fingertips into the arms and shoulders, from your head to your tailbone, and down the backs of your legs. And from here, exhale to lower your knees onto the mat. Take the hands to one side, feet to the other, and then transition to seated on your mat. Extend the legs out in front of you. Sitting in Dandasana. Flexing the ankle and toes back towards you. If your hamstrings are feeling a little bit tighter today, keep a slight bend in the knees here, allowing your spine to extend fully. Inhale to reach the arms up, and then exhale, hinging forward through the hips. Let the hands land on your toes, ankles, shins, wherever they land. And then use the hands to pull your chest, pull your chin forward, and let your gaze extend past your mat. Flex the ankle and toes back. So you're pushing out through the heels, pulling back through the toes. And let's start to release our way out of the stretch. We're going to walk the hands behind the body. Feet are together, toes pointing forward, fingers facing forward. Push into the hands and the heels. Lift the chest, lift the hips. Let the head drop back here. Coming into reverse plank, Pushvattanasana. Stretching out the whole front body. Into your shins. Lifting your hips. Opening across your chest. And stretching into the neck as your head drops back for 3, 2, and 1. Seat comes down onto the mat. From here, we shift our seat forward. Separate the feet hip width distance apart. We're going to grab the backs of the thighs and then slowly ease our way down onto the mat, letting your spine, your shoulders, and the head come down and find support. Once you're here, let the arms rest beside the body. We're going to pick up the feet and then extend the heels up towards the ceiling, coming into an inversion. And you're welcome to hang out here if you want. As you continue to push the heels up, pull the toes down. If you want to transition from here into shoulder stand, feel free to lift the seat up. Bringing the hands underneath your lower back or on your lower back for support, pointing toes up. Feel free to close out the practice with a sequence that feels good for you. If you want to take your inversion further, from shoulder stand to plow, you can bring your feet down on the mat behind you. And we start to ease our way out of your chosen pose or sequence, starting to transition towards stillness on your mat. Finding your way into Shavasana. As you take your feet mat width distance apart, your arms can be open beside the body with your palms facing up. Maybe your hands resting on the chest and belly. And letting go of control over your muscles, over your breath and heartbeat, letting everything slow down. Relaxing into the space around the eyebrows, across your forehead, softening into the cheeks and the throat. Let your jaw relax. Let your shoulders and arms melt down into the mat. Finding ease and support for your spine. And relaxing into your glutes and thighs. Soften through the back of the knees. Relax the ankles and toes. And let there be rest and relaxation in Shavasana while the benefits of your practice sink in. Starting to bring awareness back to your breath. Finding movement with the fingers and toes. And then the ankles and wrists as you wake up your body bit by bit, taking your time. Bringing yourself back from stillness, keeping your movements relaxed. Sliding your feet together, pointing the toes, reaching the arms overhead. And from here, we bend the knees, placing your preferred hand onto your belly, turning over onto your side. Maybe a bit of reflection here on your practice today. Checking in with how you feel. Noticing any changes since we began the practice. And when you feel ready, coming up into a seat, the eyes closed, palms together at chest center. May this connection with yourself remain a part of your day and beyond. May the sense of peace and calmness stay with you, nourishing you and all those around you. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste.